Family, today you're about to hear from a leader who understands that confidence isn't a sign, it's built one prepared moment at a time. Angela R. Lewis is an author, facilitator, and founder of the Lewis Consulting Group, and she serves as the head of customer success at SpeakerHub, supporting leaders and speakers all around the world as they clarify their message and expand their visibility across podcasts, conferences, and media. A former professional basketball player, NCAA Division I coach, and international competitor, Angela brings a true performance mindset to leadership and communication. She knows what it takes to show up when the pressure is real because she has lived it. In Play the Long Game with Your Voice, Angela will show us how intentional conversations supported by smart AI tools can create momentum, contribution, and lasting impact far beyond a single moment. Family, if you're ready to move from uncertainty to influence, this session is for you. Help me welcome Angela R. Lewis.
What an incredible intro from Dr. B. I appreciate that. I didn't know it was going to be like that. So I'm elated to talk to you all today. I have a small presentation, so let's hop right into it. I know we don't have a lot of time, so let's get this started. Okay, let me know if you all, can you see my screen? Give me a thumbs up.
Yes, we can.
Yes? Okay, awesome. So today we're obviously talking about playing the long game with your voice. I believe that our voice is the most powerful tool that we have. It moves everything forward. And oftentimes we devalue our voice because we haven't reached the goal that we're trying to get to, or we made some mistakes. Lord knows we make some. And maybe they're going to see and find out what we don't want them to know or see. So oftentimes we dim our light. But today we're going to talk about triple threat and how the triple threat can lead us to developing and maintaining consistent confidence in sharing our voice, and then how to win. Of course, the AI tool that I use, and then we'll wrap things up. Sound like a plan? All right, let's get into it. First, I want to know who's here today. So if you could drop in the chat where you're located, what's your business or professional industry, and what do you want to become in 2026? We're actually small enough where we could share. This is 30 minutes, so we'll have another conversation later, and I'll tell you that date. But actually, can you all anyone want to share where you're located, what's your business or profession, and who do you want to become in 2026?
Are we speaking or in the chat?
Yes, speaking, definitely. I'm a conversationalist. I'm definitely not a lecturer.
I'm Keisha Gay Witta. I'm the founder of My Emollient and non-toxic skincare brand. In 2026, I'd love to see profits. I'd love to automate some of the processes that I have, and I don't want to experience burnout, and I want to show up more for my community and for my products.
Thank you. Keisha Gay?
Keisha Gay.
Keisha Gay. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. Anybody else?
Great morning. My name is Jill Butler. Sometimes I go by JB, the voice of JB. I am a upcoming voiceover artist, but I also help to educate about estate planning and the importance of estate planning. Currently working full time, but eventually want to get to a point where not only can I leave corporate America, but I can rely solely on my gift, which is my voice.
Yes.
And Brandon, I'm glad you're on here because I definitely want to connect with you because I'm also interested in public speaking. So, yes, glad to be here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jill. JB.
Dallas, Texas. I'm sorry.
You're in Dallas? I'm in Dallas. Okay.
All right.
Please connect. I'm in Frisco.
Okay.
Who else? Anybody else?
Hi, Michelle. Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Sinclair Doyley, and I'm in Jamaica. I live in Jamaica. I'm from Jamaica, right? And in my business, I help people to identify their God-given purpose, use that to create the careers or businesses that they love, and therefore earn their way to financial freedom.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. And we are still praying for the restoration of Jamaica. We know
Ah,
there's a
thank you
lot that
very much.
occurred a
We
few
do
months
need it.
ago. So we are keenly aware of that, and that is present in our hearts and minds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll jump in. I am Alethea Felton, and I help entrepreneurs and leaders who are at turning points, and I help them make those decisions that will get them to their next level. Oftentimes, we are thriving in our businesses or even in our workplace, but yet life still happens and we have personal challenges. So I help you navigate through that. I'm a professional speaker, transformation specialist. I am the founder of Resilient Leaders Alliance, which is a membership community, and I'm the host of the top 3% ranked podcast, The Power Transformation Podcast. I am located in both Washington, D.C. and Hampton, Virginia. So I'm in two places, and right now I'm in Hampton.
Wonderful. Thank you, Alethea. Anybody else before we move forward? Brandon, we know you're dope. Brandon, we already heard about you this morning and how you help people. So thank you for pouring. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I'm excited to listen in on this session.
All right. Awesome.
I
Okay.
wanna
Well,
go.
yes.
I'm the moderator helping out,
Woo!
but
We love you for that.
Dr. B is my dad. So I am located, if you guys didn't know, I am located in Northern California, Bay Area. I am a mortgage broker, and my husband and I own a real estate staging company. We are also transitioning into real estate development. So I want AI to help take some things off my plate because we got a lot going on. So anything that can be automated, where I can really prioritize where my time is being spent, and be intentional about the things that I personally am touching and doing, then I think that will help my business be more successful.
Wonderful. Thank you, Marciana. We're so happy you're here. Thank you for all that you're doing. All right. Well, let's get into this. A little bit about my background that y'all saw in the intro. I played NCAA Division I basketball, played professionally, coached college basketball, every level from my niece's fifth grade team on. That's where I began speaking. As a coach, you're always giving pregame speeches, halftime speeches, postgame speeches, the speech before practice, the speech after practice, the one-on-one speech. So that's where I began to really understand the impact of voice and the impact that it has on other people. From there, I've published books, had a PR agency, books over 500 podcasts, and with SpeakerHub, we help speakers get on stages through podcasts and workshops, etc. But speaking is really service through action. Today, what we're going to talk about, this is not what the next session is February 19th at 6 p.m. How did we get to the end? Hold on, Lord. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's start over. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, if there's anything that's helpful today, please leave me a review. Would love to hear whatever's helpful for you all today. If you learned something, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. If you learned 3 things, 4 or 5 stars. You all learned something today. So I'll drop a link in the chat beyond the QR code as well. So let's get into it. So I was on a panel at University of North Texas, and this young lady walked up to me afterwards and she said, I saw you on TikTok. And it was a clip from an interview that you had. And I was like, I'm not even on TikTok. How did you see me on TikTok? And she said, well, I think you were on maybe a podcast or something. And that really shook me because, as I mentioned, I've been on podcasts. I've helped other people go on podcasts. But once the podcast is over, what happens to that content? Oftentimes, we have this amazing conversation and then it stops. Last year, I was on over 40 podcasts, and most of them were video based. And I gathered all the YouTube links. But still, what do we do with this content? If you're like me, you hate talking into the ether of nothing, into a blank screen. I I am much better when I can see people's faces and have conversations. And I think I'm throwing this out here, but I think some of it is generational. Like we just didn't grow up with phones in our faces all this. I'm 43. Like I didn't grow up with a phone or a phone in my face. And so I started thinking about, well, what do I do with all of this content? And how do I ensure that I'm having impact? So coming into this conversation, there's this small framework called the triple threat. It's identity. It's who am I? Like, who do I want to show up as? What values do I have that I want to show up as in the conversations that I'm having, those particularly recorded? Direction is, okay, what direction am I headed and how can I help other people get there? Not, let me tell you how great I am, but no, here's the path that I've walked and how can I help other people walk down that path? And then what impact do I want to make? Because I've defined the identity, my identity. I've defined the direction that I'm going and the path that I have walked. And here's how I want to help other people get there. So this is the triple threat for maintaining and generating confidence as we look at the overall content that we have already had. So pull everything back out that we done tucked away that we thought didn't matter. Pull it back out. I had to too. Pull it on out. Let's do a refresh. Okay. All right. Y'all ready to pull some stuff out that we thought didn't matter anymore? Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
Let's pull that content out. We wrote books, we told stories, we gave presentations. Like it really matters. I was on a podcast last year. As I mentioned, I told y'all I was on over 40 podcasts last year that I pitched to myself. And the host said, "Oh, I read your book." Hold on, you read my whole book before the conversation? Y'all, this book was published in 2012. We're talking over a decade ago. And I actually thought that it was quote unquote dead. I thought it didn't matter anymore because I wrote it in that moment. For that moment, I could not have foreseen a decade later that someone would care enough, that Maya would care enough to actually talk about, to actually continue to have the conversations that was really meaningful. So here are some of the different types of long form content that we have. I saw Dr. B in here. He does an incredible job with this. So we have keynotes. Do you have a recording of a keynote that you did? I don't care how long ago, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, however many years ago. Pull that out. Do you have a workshop that you gave? Do you have recordings of conversations or talks? And of course, podcasts. How many people here have been on or have a podcast? I know Alethea. Okay, so a few people here. I absolutely love podcast conversations because I don't like talking into the ether, as I mentioned. What fits your goals and resources? So which one of these do y'all have the most of in terms of current past recordings or recent recordings? Keynotes, workshops, other recordings, or podcasts? And when I say podcasts, I mean two types. There are the podcasts that you have been a guest on, and then there are the podcasts, your podcast that you have, where you're interviewing or doing individual long-form content. Which one of these, and feel free to, this is a conversation. I don't.
What are recordings separate from everything else? Those are when you're just talking into the camera yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
For some people have that.
We're getting podcasts in the chat, workshops, recordings and podcasts. Okay. I want to say podcast seems to be the theme. Everyone's got the most, podcasts.
Thank you for that. What do you all currently do with your content? Like, where does it live? Michelle laughs.
It lives on my computer.
Oh,
or
okay.
Zoom.
Computer or Zoom?
Zoom.
Zoom is really the ether of all our conversations, right? It
And
comes up automatically, we record.
And it's now costing a lot of money to have it all there.
Yes.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing
TikTok
yet.
Or LinkedIn.
Thank you.
I try to repurpose them because a lot of them have little like things that I'll say or like reactions that seem really natural. And I see that my audience really like some like my quirks. So whenever I have like quirky reactions, I try to cut those parts and put it on wherever I feel like it will be best, like IG, TikTok, or LinkedIn.
How are you currently cutting it?
I just throw it on my computer and throw it in an app. And like now with IG, what is it called again? Edits. So I'll throw it in edits and I'll just cut like certain parts and just throw it on somewhere.
Okay. And that's why we're here today. I have some, here there we go. Okay. So think about your goals and which platforms you use the most. So some of you all said LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. The key question is, where's your audience? That's what matters most. Where I had no idea that TikTok, well, I know there's a lot of people on TikTok, but it wasn't something I thought that mattered. I thought LinkedIn mattered most. And IG is where I live the most. And I thought that's what mattered most. So now I have to make sure these videos get on TikTok. So today is a working session. We're going to work. I know we only have about 13 minutes to go, but we can, of course, have additional conversations moving forward. I'm all about the win. If you ever hear my presentation, there's tons of sports analogies because that's the only language, that's the language I speak best is basketball. So the triple threat, dribble, pass, shoot, that's a basketball analogy. So let's talk about winning. The first thing you're going to do is choose which video. So find a video link like right now that you have that is on YouTube. If you do not have a video on YouTube, you can upload it to YouTube, or you could find another conversation on YouTube. So we're going to use the tool Opus Pro. So opus.pro. Have y'all heard of Opus? Alethea?
Yeah.
Awesome. Jill, you use Opus? Yes. Okay. So opus.pro is the tool. And the idea is, in order to win, it has to live. In order for you to win in terms of the impact, it has to live. So Michelle, your homework is to take all those videos, download them, and you can put them unlisted on YouTube. Just because you can upload them to YouTube as unlisted and still put them in Opus and create the clips. So do you all give me a thumbs up or put a 1 in the chat if you have already found your YouTube video that you're going to use. If you can't find.
So Angela, I have to admit to you is that that is one area that I've been slacking on majorly is YouTube. I have a channel and everything, but right now I'm a solopreneur.
Yes.
And navigating everything else is a bit challenging, but you have convinced me I need to go ahead and make that channel big because people ask me all the time about it because I post on social media, etc. I have lots of content and I need to put it up there.
Here's a yes, and you can get someone to help you. Look, love college students. Let me say, look, I've never said this publicly. I was on a podcast and a young lady named Sydney Bryant reached out to me, and she was a PR student at North Carolina A&T. And she said, "Do you have internships?" I said, "No, but we can create one, honey. What you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? Let's do it." And so Sydney has been working with me for 3 years. Sydney runs my Opus account. And because I knew that I would get in my own way, we're really critical of ourselves. You're all like, did I say that right? Look right? Oh, how's my hair? Well, how's my makeup? Especially girls, did the makeup land? Is the lipstick on? Is the lighting right? So I'm going to show you, I'll show you. I said, Sydney, we're going to use this new platform. I have to get this. This was after Maya said, I saw you. I said, we have to get this out here. I want you to post on Instagram every single day. I want you to post videos every single day, but schedule them. So Sydney goes in once a week. Let me pull this up. Let's sign into my accounts.
And we have a question in the chat. Does it
Oh.
have to be long form to use Opus Pro if you only have shorts? Like how long does the video have to be or the recording in order to use Opus Pro?
Is the question, does the video have to be short or can it be a reel?
She said, does it have to be long form? I only have shorts.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if but where do your shorts live? Are they on your?
They're on YouTube. Like I said, like I'll take
they're already there.
long form videos and I'll short them and create other videos from my long form videos.
So the
And
goal.
I use shorts with Opus, so it does
Okay.
work.
Use Opus.
All right.
Yes. So Opus creates shorts. But the hack with Opus that I didn't know until recently was that, so let me do a better job of teaching. You take the YouTube link and drop it here. Let me go and grab one of my YouTube links so I can do a live demo.
While you're doing it, the short is only like
This-
10 seconds. It doesn't need to make another short that's the same thing. It'll help you post it on different platforms. But yeah, if it's a 60-second short, then absolutely it'll make it into two 30-second clips.
Dr. B, we're just getting rolling and we're almost done. Good Lord.
I know it goes fast.
I love
doesn't it?
this. It does. We were just
You're
bonding.
doing such a
and
great job.
finding
Such a
out.
great job.
Okay,
Yeah.
y'all. So here's a link from a past interview. You see, can y'all see my Opus? What do y'all see? Okay, I just put it in the chat. Get clips quick. So it's working, but y'all see all these other interviews that I've been on. What Sydney does for me, Sydney, perfect. Get clips, great. You see the magic happen. Let me go to one that already occurred so you can see what the final product looks like. So then Opus presents this, and I'm not an affiliate with Opus at all. This is literally just the tool that I use. And so you see it rates it. So 97% on hook, on flow, on value. We like this clip. She already liked it. I'm messing up Sydney's stuff. What I said to Sydney is, anything that's over 90%, I need you to listen to it and schedule it to go out. We click schedule. It creates your copy. I don't always love it, so I ask her to make edits to it to make sure that it flows, like actually read the copy. And you see I have 3 social platforms. For me in 2026, we're adding TikTok. I've been a little like, I'm too old for TikTok because, I love to dance, but I don't want to, have to do all this. So I'm not going to do all that, but we're going to add TikTok. This is my next step, to add TikTok, and all of these videos are scheduled to go out. So when we click book schedule, here, let me show y'all what Sydney has done. Look, Sydney has been working. This is January. I'll show exactly when we started. You see this week of December 1st? This is when I was doing Opus myself, because I was doing this and I had meetings here. The week of December 1st, December 8th, that was me in Opus.
That's
and
my year.
Sydney, I didn't hear you.
That's my year. All the blank spots.
Yes. We have so many blind spots, so we have to get out of our own way. Sydney, I pay Sydney $15 an hour for 5 hours a week. We're not Sydney. I don't need Sydney full time. I need Sydney a few hours a week to do this. And I said, okay, have to get out of my own way. We have to put this info out here. These conversations were amazing. All right, Instagram every day. I said, Sydney, every day, Instagram, post a video. I'm not going to review it because I have to trust you. The AI already said it's over 90% with the hook and the other things, right? So 90%. She posts every day. And then Christmas, a few days we took off and I posted some things personally. And then LinkedIn, we're doing 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. There's a video on LinkedIn. Y'all, I'm speaking at the American Businesswomen's Association, and we were talking about the upcoming event. And the lady who organized it said to me, I feel like I know you so well. I was like, thanks, Sydney. Yes. because she's seen all this content. You can go back and see all of these videos. And these are podcasts that I had a long time ago. Look, I was trying my best in November, but that just stopped. So what questions do you have? I know we only have a few minutes left.
With
yes.
Opus, does it cut the video at a natural spot? Because I have StreamYard and it will give me clips, but it cuts the things at some odd places that I'm like, I can't use it.
That's a great question. AI is not perfect. Definitely check the video or have someone check the video. Yes, Sydney checks it and makes sure it's okay. We've worked together so long. She knows my voice and I trust her judgment. So I would say, if you're going to get someone to work with you, train them a little, like say, hey, like check this out, then let me see what you've done. Don't just hire a random person and have them go in blindly, because it still takes some training to make sure that you represent it well. Yeah.
Right, but it cuts it at a good spot with the Opus?
Usually, yeah.
Okay,
it
because
does.
I said with StreamYard, it just cuts at some weird places. Okay.
I think with any AI tool, even ChatGPT, when we're asking it things, it wants you to feel good. So it's always going to say, every time I put something in, I'm like, I'm thinking about speaking at this event. You're awesome. You're great, Angie. Do it all. I'm like, hold on, but give me what might go wrong. Like, I need you to think on the other side as well. I can't just be wonderful and every idea I have is fabulous. Like, come on. So the prompt and our interaction with it has to be more guided.
I guess I've trained my AI because it'll tell me, no, that is not a good idea. I'm like, okay, all right, tell me what it is then. I have a question. Does it because I don't have this Opus thing, so I see that you have an account and you set up your account and does it also give you captions and hashtags?
Yes, you can add captions, hashtags. Yes, it does.
Okay. And Althea, are you in New York?
It's pronounced Alethea.
Alethea, I'm sorry.
No, I'm not in New York. No.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to tell you about, maybe every city has it. We have SYEP interns, and you can get interns. So every year I get like 5 interns. I have one intern now, a winter intern, and I hired one of my interns. I'm actually going to meet her in a couple of minutes, and it's free. The city pays the interns. They pay them $50 an hour. You get them for 6 weeks, and for my winter intern, I have him until March.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll check and see if DC has anything like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I only have a couple minutes.
Okay.
For Opus Pro, can you use that for faceless videos?
Yeah, yes, a good question. I've never had a faceless video because my intention is to get my face and voice out more. So that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Does anyone else know? I'm definitely not the Opus Pro. I only
Angela,
know how to use it, how I use it. Yes.
I would think yes, only because Opus works according to the words spoken.
Okay.
So even if it's faceless, if a voice is speaking on it, it would still give you the clips. Yeah.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. All right, y'all, I know I have to wrap. So here we go. Your voice is important. Pull everything out that you have ever done. It is not dead. If what you've said, if your presentation, if that interview impacted one person, put it back out there. I had a friend text me yesterday. I just love your hair. And I love what you said in this video. I'm like, that was last January. That was from January 2020. But they don't know because here's the deal. No one is monitoring our lives. Everyone has stuff to do. So you could have done something 6-8 months ago that people need today. So put it out there. You never know the difference that you're making, and use AI to automate these things. We're going to talk more in depth and actually have a working session of repurposing our content. And today was only about how to repurpose it in video form. I started a Substack. So we'll be talking about like, how do we take these long form videos and creating articles without having to go in and start from scratch. So I'm excited to produce more content myself and then work together in the community. So we're all putting our voice out there in a way that's valuable and helpful to others. So thank you all so much. I'm going to put this quick little link in the chat because I would love your feedback on this presentation and on how we can make it better and what was helpful for you.